When Jennifer Hudson and Common first started dating, everything seemed ideal. They were both well-known, powerful, and adored by millions of people. Fans thought they had at last discovered true love in Hollywood. However, tales of late-night texts, covert meetings, and emotional distancing started to circulate behind the smiles, interviews, and public appearances. What started out as a lovely love tale quickly devolved into a devastating game of treachery and trust. Did Common really have an affair behind Jennifer's back? Or did Jennifer begin to distance herself first? According to those close to both of them, their relationship was never as ideal as it seemed. We're dissecting how one of Hollywood's most beloved couples transitioned from on-screen romance to quiet seclusion in this video, as well as whether or not adultery really ended their relationship. Or if the story is more complicated than everyone realizes. Let's go back a little. Jennifer Hudson is an Oscar-winning actress, a formidable vocalist, and one of Hollywood's most esteemed voices. Common, the rapper who became an actor, has that serene, cool attitude that everyone finds admirable. Fans went wild when these two began dating. They originally kept their relationship quiet after meeting in the entertainment industry, but soon they began attending award ceremonies and red carpet events together. People exclaimed, "Jennifer found her match at last." They seemed content. Common would express his admiration for Jennifer's fortitude. Every time his name was mentioned, Jennifer would grin. Everything seemed ideal, perhaps even too ideal. But as usual, there's generally a problem when things in Hollywood seem too ideal. Fans began to notice something odd about the middle of 2024. Jennifer and Common were no longer blogging about one another. There weren't any brand new photos, group interviews, or even a simple happy birthday message. That's when the gossip began. Perhaps they weren't as close as they were, or perhaps they were keeping things hidden. According to close pals, Jennifer was reportedly feeling emotionally disconnected behind the scenes. She believed Common wasn't present anymore because he was too preoccupied with his career. However, Common allegedly claimed that Jennifer was not giving him attention and was too busy chasing fame. A typical Hollywood relationship collapse occurs when both parties are too busy to address the issue. This is when the juicy part begins. Fans began making connections in the beginning of 2025. At first glance, it shouldn't have been a huge problem when Common was seen in LA eating lunch with a mystery woman. However, he was not wearing his typical bracelet, which Jennifer had given him as the photographers panned in. Then, a few days later, Jennifer and another male artist were seen late at night leaving a studio. Fans began to speculate, is Jennifer moving on? After seeing their connection, the internet exploded. Common was accused of cheating initially. Others stated that he was being played back by Jennifer. Both were behaving aloof, as if they were concealing secrets while feigning that everything was well. But no one really understood the whole truth. Common grinned and said, "We're both just focusing on our careers right now," when he was questioned about Jennifer on a podcast. "Jennifer is an incredible lady, and I will always adore her." Wait, fans said, did he just say have love for her? In the past tense? Jennifer made an appearance on a talk program a few weeks later. She chuckled and said, "I'm focused on my piece right now." When the presenter inquired about her relationship, "My first priority is that." That was the end of it. Common is not mentioned. Don't deny. The whole internet was yelling, "It's over!" after reading just one line. The leaks followed. Screenshots of purported direct messages, flirtatious texts, and even a few voice messages that fans claimed were Common's began to circulate online. The material was disorganized, but nothing was verified. "I told you not to call me when she's around," read one text. People assumed Common was speaking to another lady while still with Jennifer based only on that. But wait, it didn't end there. Jennifer was seen conversing with a producer friend in another leaked video. At first, the texts were benign, but the tone quickly became flirtatious. Others began to speculate that Jennifer may not be as innocent as everyone believed. Supporters were split. Some pointed the finger at Common, claiming he had a track record of not being loyal. Others said that Jennifer pushed him away and was emotionally aloof all the time. People said stuff like, "Common never settles down," on Twitter. "He manages to ruin it every time." Jennifer's energy changed. "She probably got tired of waiting for him to commit," several others commented. Every action was scrutinized, even which songs they were singing live and who liked and unfollowed each other's posts. On stage, Jennifer began to perform additional songs about sorrow. Common started sharing posts on learning from mistakes and self-growth. They essentially used quotations and music as a silent means of communication. By the middle of 2025, it was clear. They were no longer together. No announcement, no public breakup post, just quiet. Jennifer began concentrating on her work, presenting her program and appearing in a new movie. Common returned to the studio and maintained a low profile. However, their supporters continued to discuss what really transpired. According to several sources, after discovering texts on Common's phone, Jennifer confronted him. Others claim that Common's confidence was totally betrayed when he found something on Jennifer's phone. The reality? Nobody is certain. However, it's obvious that both were harmed. After a few months, they both seemed to be happy once again, although independently. Jennifer spoke on social media about loving myself more. Common shared a post on forgiveness and peace in movement. However, it's obvious that both of them endured some kind of agony. They have lost their chemistry, their grins, and their joint interviews. They will probably never get back together, according to those close to them, but they still respect one another. And truthfully, it could be better that way. When trust is lost, love isn't always enough. This is when things start to become fascinating once again. Although there is no proof or name, some are already thinking that Jennifer has moved on after she was recently sighted with a new guy. Conversely, Common has been seen out with a few pals, including a lady with whom he has been close for many months. He disputes that it's romantic, however. Did they both cheat then? Or did a single miscommunication degenerate into mayhem? Really, no one knows. Perhaps their respective forms of guilt were emotional rather than bodily. Perhaps it was just a matter of time. Or perhaps they just stopped being in love. If there is one lesson to be learned from the whole Jennifer and Common incident, it is that genuine relationships are complex, regardless of how ideal they seem on the internet. Even two successful, wealthy, and well-known persons cannot avoid the hurt of betrayed trust. Either Jennifer's increasing remoteness or Common's covert texting contributed to the breakup. And truthfully, love tales don't always have a happy ending. Sometimes they simply gently fade away. Jennifer Hudson is more successful, self-assured, and self-centered than ever now. Common still performs and sings, and his lyrics continue to enchant people worldwide. But sometimes people can't help but inquire when they see an old video of them grinning together. What really transpired between Common and Jennifer Hudson? Was their relationship ruined by pride, distance, and popularity? Or did they really cheat on one another? This love tale will always be one of Hollywood's greatest mysteries until one of them comes forward. It serves as a wonderful reminder that sometimes the truth isn't obvious and is concealed in between lies and love. Following months of speculation, disclosures, and turmoil on social media, Jennifer Hudson vanished from the public eye. No remarks, no interviews, just quiet. Jennifer said nothing at all as Common spoke on a couple podcasts about growth and learning from past mistakes. Fans questioned if she was planning her next move or whether she was devastated. And that quiet? It was more powerful than any words. People began to claim that Jennifer was not remaining silent because she was in agony, but rather because she had finished playing games. She had no intention of arguing, defending, or explaining herself. She intended to demonstrate to everyone what retaliation looked like. Then all of a sudden, bang. Jennifer returned with a bang. With songs about betrayal, healing, and finding power after heartbreak, she released new music. It was instantly associated with Common by fans. Fans couldn't resist reciting a lyric from one song, "You Can't Love Me Halfway and Call It Real." It struck deep. Everyone was aware of the person she was referring to. Jennifer's energy was renewed, radiant, and self-assured, and she also began to concentrate on her talk show once again. She seemed to turn all of her suffering into strength. The lady who used to weep in private was now taller than before. He was seen hanging out with a new lady, a model who was allegedly younger and often appeared at his events. Comparisons erupted on social media. She's not Jennifer. Common was downgraded significantly. According to many close to him, Common wasn't doing as well as he seemed to be behind that serene grin. He misses Jennifer, a close friend of his said on a blog. He now understands what he lost, even though he believed he would be well without her. Common even began sharing cryptic posts about forgiveness and second chances. Fans saw that he sometimes still liked old photos of Jennifer. That faint trail of digital breadcrumbs? Traditional regret. This is when Jennifer's retaliation becomes sophisticated. Rather of explicitly disparaging Common, she used her success as a tool. She began collaborating with well-known Hollywood figures, putting out songs that became viral and attending every event looking lovely. When asked about love at an award event, Jennifer grinned and said, "I'm in a relationship with my peace." Boom, mic drop. Millions of people have shared that one statement online, making it a viral quotation. She didn't have to call out Common since it was obvious. She was too preoccupied with leveling up. Don't get it wrong, however. She wasn't cold. She sometimes posted heartfelt sayings such, "Forgiveness doesn't mean I forget," underneath those strong exteriors. It indicates my freedom. The most painful sort of retaliation is when the person you wounded has moved on from you and no longer despises you. Common's new relationship began to deteriorate as Jennifer's makeover dominated the internet. After the paparazzi stopped capturing them together, rumors started to circulate that he was still pursuing Jennifer. He went so far as to release a song that sounded much too intimate. "I let go of a queen when my ego was loud," read one poem. "Now, when there are no people around, I converse with my shadow." It was immediately clear to fans that this was about Jennifer. Comments began to pour in. He finally realized she was the one. Common? It's too late. Common seemed shattered, as if he had finally had to pay for his own transgressions, despite his constant talk of harmony and balance. However, the internet went berserk once again just after everyone believed the story was over. Although they were not seated together, Jennifer and Common were seen giving each other a brief embrace backstage at the same charity event. A hazy footage that was released went viral right away. Are they talking again? Was the question that fans began to speculate. Did Common say sorry? Insiders stated their conversation was emotional, not passionate, but full of closure, although no one knew what was discussed between them. According to reports, Common told her, "I did something that you didn't deserve." Jennifer only gave a nod and turned to go. If that's true, that moment tells it all. Closure doesn't always need a speech. Just two individuals recognize that it's too late to repair what has already been damaged. Hollywood can't remain silent when the drama is this terrific, of course. Stars began quietly picking sides. Female celebrities and several of Jennifer's close pals shared cryptic posts about strong women walking away from weak men. In the meanwhile, several of Common's business associates spoke up for him, stating, "He's not a bad guy. He just finds it difficult to express his emotions." The problem with public splits is that everyone starts to remark. Both Jennifer and Common, however, were only attempting to heal in their own ways behind the postings and comments. After that, Jennifer revealed two significant victories: a new tour and a film agreement. "Sometimes pain teaches you more than love ever could," she said to the crowd during one performance. Everyone understood what she meant, and the audience fell quiet. She had fully transformed her sadness into power, as shown by that statement alone. As a result of her graceful handling of everything, her fan base rose even more. She let her achievement speak for itself rather than bringing others down or posting furious tirades. When your peace turns into their punishment, it is the type of retaliation that never goes away. "If you could say one thing to your ex, what would it be?" the presenter asked Common during a radio appearance months later. After a little pause, he continued, "I would say thank you for showing me the true meaning of love." Supporters realized right once that he was referring to Jennifer. The internet was rocked by just one statement. It was genuine. It wasn't romantic or exaggerated. Remorse was evident in his eyes. The sort that stays because you know you lost someone special, not the kind you fake for public relations. Although Jennifer didn't immediately reply, she shared a picture a few days later with the statement, "Growth means not reacting when you could destroy someone with the truth." That had a profound effect. It was strong, shrewd, and graceful. That was her silent answer, and everyone knew it. Online drama and untidy interviews are unnecessary. She was a real example of how quiet can sometimes be the most powerful statement. And to be honest, peace, prosperity, and not having to defend yourself to others could be the true form of retaliation. Common soon began attending treatment, which he subsequently discussed candidly. "When you injure someone well, you begin to realize that you must first heal yourself," he remarked. He regained some respect after that. Fans of Jennifer expressed their hope that he had indeed learned his lesson. And maybe Jennifer's power served as his awakening in some manner. After a few months, they are both achieving incredible success in their occupations. However, when their names are mentioned during concerts or interviews, there is sometimes a little burst of emotion. Jennifer once broke down in tears in the middle of an old love song. "This next song is for someone I owe a forever apology to," Common once said, pausing during a live performance. Fans continue to wonder whether they still miss one another, or do they both just live with the ghost of what could have been? There is more to this story than simply another celebrity controversy involving Jennifer Hudson and Common. It's a practical lesson about time, ego, and love. The proper person may sometimes arrive at the wrong moment. You may not always appreciate what you have until it is taken away. Jennifer demonstrated what it means to remain strong after being deceived. Common demonstrated what it looks like to feel remorse after losing something genuine. Because it's not simply their tale. Maybe that's why others are still interested in it. It belongs to everyone. Jennifer is more radiant than ever today. She's doing well, grinning, and enjoying life to the fullest. More self-aware, more mature, and maybe still harboring a faint hope for salvation, Common goes on with his trip. Will they eventually return to one another, though? Or is it really the end of that chapter? Time will tell, because sometimes love just changes forms rather than ending. Until then, the lady who transformed suffering into purpose, and the man who discovered the true meaning of love, too late continue to be two of Hollywood's most potent metamorphoses.